Yo, what's up, YouTube? What's up, Steelers Nation? It's unfortunate, man. Last few weeks I've had to start the Wattscast this way. It's just unfortunate. Just a total collapse, complete collapse, incompetency, bad play. Uh, it's where do I even begin? I didn't write anything down because I was just too. I was tired. I was a little angry, but I'm just going to kind of just spitball like I normally do. I'm gonna try to give some of my thoughts here. We'll look at some things that I saw that were interesting on Twitter that I was able to save, and we'll finish out by kind of just looking at the box score to kind of get a full encapsule of what we witnessed on Saturday night. But it's just it's sickening, man. Joe Porter Jr. came back, which was great to see. They tried to do the same scheme of having him guard T. Higgins and double teaming Jamar Chase, but it just simply didn't work that way off the bat. That first drive the Bengals had, I just remember them running out routes left, right, 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards. It just was open. It was open every time, and they were able to more or less just methodically make their way down the field without any resistance at all. I think every play that they had was a positive play, every single one. And we capped it off by, or they capped it off by getting in the end zone where they have their, probably going to be $50 million receiver, triple crown winner, matched up with Corey Trice, which it's just not a smart idea. I think Corey Trice is a good corner. I think he's going to be one of those ones, but he doesn't have a lot of reps, and to have him face guarding probably the best receiver in the league this season, I just don't think was a good idea. And he gave up that touchdown. Honestly, could have gave up another one, but Jamar Chase just dropped it, and they had to settle for a field goal. But Corey Trice, I think he was playing really well, but he was face guarding a lot. I don't think I've seen him turn and look for the ball one time when he was targeted, and he's going against Jamar Chase. And I mean, what do you expect? Just not enough blitzing. We sent a couple blitzes. Patrick Queen got home one time and was able to create a forced fumble, and we were able to put the ball on the ground a couple times. We recovered, I think, two of them. So we did better in that aspect, which was good to see. But unfortunately, Calvin Austin had a fumble. I believe we had two turnovers on downs. I think it was 2nd and 1 or 3rd and 1, and we couldn't. It might have been 2nd and 1. We couldn't get 1 yard in three straight plays and turn the ball over on downs. We ended up turning the ball over on downs on that last play, our last offensive play. Russ actually hit Fryermuth with a good ball, and he just dropped it. That could have potentially put us in field goal range. And let's be honest, even if we did win that game, I don't think any of us would have felt particularly good about it just based on how bad we played. But it still would have been better than losing in that fashion. George Pickens had a complete meltdown. Been a big George Pickens defender, but it's just tough because if you act like an ass all the time, not all the time. I think he's scrutinized a little too heavily. But if you act like an ass and you don't perform, it just kind of doubles down, man, and it just kind of gives the Steelers an out to say maybe we don't bring this guy back. Maybe we go for a true professional. So it's tough, man. George had probably his worst day of his career. Well, he did have his worst day of career. There's no question. The defense, I do want to give a shout out to the defense. The defense, for the most part, held up. I think we only gave up, two touchdowns, 19 points total. Got a couple sacks on Joe Burrow. Cam Hayward had a bunch of batted passes. I think we came up with interception. Beanie Bishop got an interception. Jamar Chase was trying to catch the ball. Patrick Queen ripped the ball out of his arms. Jamar Chase tried to smack the ball down, like spike it off the ground. It hit Queen in the helmet, popped up, and Beanie Bishop caught it with one hand. Beanie Bishop should be getting way more reps over Cam Sutton, in my opinion. I think Jalen Warren should be getting more touches over Najee Harris. I think that's what's so frustrating, man, because I think all of us as fans see kind of what works and what doesn't work. And the Steelers, there's no way they can't see it. I just think it's just more or less of them just trying to force it. I said this earlier in the year. It's just like, hey, we're Mike Tomlin, we're the Steelers. You know, the standard is the standard. We do what we do, and we're not going to adjust. And if we do adjust, we're going to go right back to our comfort zone. You know, and it just unfortunately a lot of the times it just doesn't work. And I've been one of the biggest Mike Tomlin supporters since day one. I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's a Hall of Fame coach, but it's hard to say what the more this season kind of skids away and gets away from us that we've changed offensive coordinators, we've changed defensive coordinators, we've changed quarterbacks, we have different O-line, we have different skill positions. The only thing that's really still here is Cam Hayward. Mike Tomlin, you're the common denominator, man. And as bad as the shit is, as bad as the scheme is, as stubborn as we are, as much as we make things so hard on our guys, it's so easy to see that, it has to be stemming from somewhere. It has to be stemming from the top down. And somebody had the best explanation I've ever seen. I wish I would have saved it so I could give him credit, but it's just like Mike Tomlin is the best, and I've said this before, so I apologize, but it's like Mike Tomlin is the best coach in the world from Saturday to Saturday, or excuse me, from Monday to Saturday. But I know this doesn't make sense because we played on Saturday. But anyway, he's the best coach until game day. We'll say that once game day happens, the clock management, it's bad. I thought we should have took a timeout when there was like 3 minutes left. We didn't take the 10-second runoff. I remember saying this live. Shout out to anybody who was in the live stream. When the Bengals were about to score, and we're trying to hold clock. We didn't hold clock when we should have, and then we were trying to save clock when we didn't need to. Try to let the clock run out before they can score. And we didn't take the 10-second runoff. We didn't take a timeout. Russ, when we did get the ball back, instead of throwing the ball away, he ran up the field and got tackled. Went from having 45 seconds left to only having 20 seconds left. It was bad. I mean, from top to bottom. Outside of the defense, I think the defense balled out and had a real big bounce back game. Outside of that, it was putrid. It was tough. It was tough to watch. It seemed like whenever we did have something going, if Jaylen Warren came in and gave us a little bit of a spark, we would take him back out. If we were having success running or passing the ball, there would be a group substitution. And it was so obvious. I'm not good at football. I wasn't good at football when I was a kid. I suck. But I know football, especially as I've gotten older. I've learned football. And when you sub out, this package with, Freiermuth and Pickens, and you bring in, Ben Skoranek and Van Jefferson, it's just so obvious we're going to run the ball. It's so obvious, and that's exactly what we did. And then we take them out and put Calvin Austin or Pat Freiermuth in, and it's just obvious we're about to try to pass the ball. And they showed it on the replay broadcast. Some of the guys running open in the middle of the field. I think Russ is just too short to see him. That was always something that they spoke about with Russ, is that it's hard for him to see over the line because he's only 5'10". And a lot of the stuff in the middle of the field could be wide open, but it's just not accessible. And I think Russ has had a rough month. It's been bad. The month of December was not good to Russ, and he went from being this high level top 5 type of talent to looking like he's washed. I don't think he is washed. I think it's just some unfortunate circumstances, but he has not been playing good. He has not been playing good at all. And, the line hasn't particularly been playing well, but I think there's ways for us to counter that. If you look at the Chiefs game, if you look at this Bengals game, the Bengals don't have a good line, and they had a bunch of injuries. they threw the ball so many times in the cold where Joe Burrow's just getting rid of the ball real quick. 1.5, 2 seconds, he's getting rid of the ball. And the plays that he didn't, he got sacked or he got hit. Um, it's just like the Bengals were like, hey, if we can't hold blocks for long enough, how about we don't hold the ball for real long? Simple, right? Just seems so simple, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that, and hey, these are the results we get. So it's really unfortunate. A 4-game losing streak to end the season. We went from 10-3 atop of the AFC North, possibly in contention for the number 2, maybe even the number 1 seed, to losing 4 straight. We're now 10-7. I think this is the same record we had last year with the QB carousel. We got to play Baltimore, who is red hot, and I think it's karma. I honestly think it's karma. We've been talking the last few years so much shit on Baltimore about how we're so much better, how we have them figured out, how we can stop Lamar Jackson. Well, now we got to do it in the playoffs. Let's see if any of that shit was for real, or if just like everybody else has figured us out. It always sticks with me, that clip from John Harbaugh talking about Russ like this guy's all layups and 3-pointers, man. It's just, I don't even think it's just Russ. Yeah, that is Russ, but that's us too. Run, 3rd and short, throw a 20-yard fade. It's predictable. We do it all the time. It's just like our MO. So I don't know, man. It's just, I feel bad for Justin Fields too, because we were 4-2 and we were rolling, and I just remember Mike Tomlin getting up at that press conference and said, we've been really good, but we can't confuse good with great. And if that wasn't good enough, then what the fuck has these last 4 weeks been? What has these last 4 weeks been? Have they been great? I don't think so. So Russ is now 6-5 as a starter, where Justin was 4-2. I don't know if Justin's necessarily the answer because of his ability or inability to read defenses. But if Russ can read defenses, but the whole middle of the defense is blanked out, he can only see the outsides. How much better is it if teams pick up on that and guard the outsides? I don't know. It's just really disappointing, and I like Cordell Patterson, but to keep seeing him on kickoffs, to keep seeing him on crucial 3rd downs, it just hasn't worked. It worked a couple times early in the season, and we just took that, as gospel and just ran with it. Really, really frustrating, man. Really frustrating. So Russ may have played himself out of a contract here. I don't think he did that. I think for how much Mike Tomlin was ready to ride with him, regardless of what Justin Fields did or didn't do, I can see Mike Tomlin wanting him back, saying, let's get a full year. Let's let him make sure he's healthy from the beginning of the year and yada, yada. I can definitely see us bringing Russ back, overpaying him, having another bad season, another mid-season, and Justin Fields going somewhere else and balling out, man. I can see it. It's just the writing's on the wall, and unfortunately, after the highs of the season, how good so many people were playing and how much I was really rocking with our team and shouting people out, Deshaun Elliott and such, and it's just so disappointing, especially after the defense put on a really good performance like that, to hold the Bengals red hot offense that was scoring 30-plus points a game to 19, and we can only, how many points do we have? We have 17 points. It's just not good enough, man. It's not. And we were in Pittsburgh. It's very, very disheartening. Very disheartening. So, let's look at some of these tweets here. So I thought there were some interesting ones. So, Trey Essex, former Steeler, has good tweets during the game. Leaving essentially a rookie DB. I know Trice is in his second year for those who like to be technical. On a triple crown receiver and solo coverage in the red zone is an insane level amount of negligence. I agree. I'm sorry, but it's just really hard to win and have great culture when your players are constantly having to take turns keeping their best offensive teammate focused. You see this a lot. He's chirping at people in the field, chirping at people in the stands. He's chirping at people on the field. He's. I don't have the best attitude when I'm losing either. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not professional. You just see people taking time to try to get him together, get his head back in the game, and like he's so talented. But I would always say when people say we gotta get rid of him, like you guys are stupid. Like you don't get rid of somebody with that much talent. But it's hard for me to defend him when he acts like that. But then he also goes out. It wasn't like he wasn't targeted. He dropped the ball 3 times. He had 3 drops, and a couple of them were big plays that he could have had. It's like the one down the sideline. It was a go ball. He caught it, and it's like it was hot. It's like the ball was on fire. He caught it and threw it on the ground. It's like it's just lack of focus. That's all it is. He makes that play routinely. Speaking of that, when we're down at halftime, and he asked Mike Tomlin, what do we need to do to get back in the game? He said we got to make routine plays routinely. I said, bro. Oh my God, these Tomlinisms, they sound good when we're winning, but when they're asking you, what can you do to help get your team back in the game? You say make routine plays routinely. I mean, he has a point because we definitely had opportunities, but I just feel like we make things so hard. We ask our defense to do so much. We ask our defense to throw on their Superman cape and bail us out time after time after time, while allowing our offense to go out there and be mediocre. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Justin Fields watching Russell Wilson struggle and lose 4 straight games to close the season. I agree. Justin Fields was told he wasn't good enough at 4-2. Yet, we're allowed to do this. With Russ, who's a experienced veteran quarterback, throwing interceptions in the red zone, which I know people were criticizing George Pickens route running against the Chiefs, but you still got to see that the dude's double covered. That fumble he had against the Ravens when he ran us into the red zone, he fumbled. Then he had a pick six. This game wasn't good. I feel like he took a lot of unnecessary sacks. And that's another thing too, where I could see us actually being successful with Justin Fields and Jalen Warren with the young offensive line. If they're not able to hold up their blocks, especially as the season gets long here. Justin Fields has a lot more escapability. It's 3rd and 1. Russ had a hamstring injury that held him out for 6 games, but you have him running QB sneaks up the middle twice, and it just doesn't work. Najee Harris is the power back, but Jalen Warren gets the carry on 4th and short, which sometimes I like because Najee Harris will sometimes hesitate to hit the hole, whereas Jalen Warren just goes straight for it. But it just feels like we play our players out of position so much. It's definitely frustrating. Oh, and that toss play. Get that shit out of the playbook, please. It worked one time against the Raiders. The Raiders. On a toss to the left, cut back. I think it worked against the Bengals too. So we're talking about one of the worst teams in football, and then one of the worst defenses in football are where that play worked. But we keep running it. So for good measure, we ran an RB toss to the 3rd oldest player on the team in clutch time. Mind you, the play hadn't worked for the entirety of the day, which it hadn't, while the running backs who are a decade younger didn't work all day with running backs who are a decade younger. Details don't matter though. F that. We about to get these RB toss reps in. Here we go. It amazes me we continually run plays that don't work. We lose so many yards on our running plays, especially that toss. It's sickening. We could have one good play and then just take a step back. Or we take a step back and then take another step back and then try to make it all up on 3rd down. So many 3rds and 8s, so many 3rds and 10s, so many 3rds and 15s. Jalen Warren is our best, most consistent weapon, and you gave him 6 touches in a tight game, and for some fucking reason, feel the need to give Cordell Patterson touches in crucial moments. I love CP. He's a leader, but when you bring him in the game, it's obvious to everyone what you. Wait, where'd it go? How did it just scroll up like that? What you're about to do. Okay, so there wasn't any more to it. I don't get how it scrolled up like that. Steelers have a power back. Shout out Kevin Adams to the Still Here Network. I think I got some from him and Jersey Jerry. Steelers have a power back. His name is Najee Harris. They ask him to run speed back pitches. Yep. The Steelers have a speed back. His name is Jalen Warren. They ask him to do power back things. That's why I hate the Steelers play calling. I agree. All I ever see Mike Williams do is make plays. How is this guy not the number 2? I don't take anybody seriously that supports Van Jay over Mike Williams. It's lunacy. He's a good player. Play him. I agree. What is so hard about putting George on one side, Mike Williams on the other, and Calvin Austin or Pat Fryermuth in the slot? Or both. Put Mike Williams and George Pickens on the outside. Put Calvin Austin in the slot and have Fryermuth a tight end. Who am I? I don't know. I play NCAA. Honestly, I can't even say shit about the Steelers defense tonight aside from the opening drive. They've been more than fine. I agree. The opening drive was rough, but after that, I feel like we really made plays. It's the offense. It's been the offense. It'll be the offense until they actually decide to play modern NFL football. I agree. The toss just has to stop. Please, just stop running that play. I agree. Okay, so here's the play I was talking about earlier. So there's 42 seconds left, probably 44 when the play starts. And Russ, he doesn't go out of bounds, and he doesn't throw the ball away. He runs into a tackle.
Wilson takes the hit instead of killing the clock and throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah, exactly. Not a good decision by the veteran quarterback. Just unloaded those 2-3 yards that he picked up. Those are
28, 27, 26, 25. 20 seconds wasted on a play that got 3 yards. Tomlin looked nervous. Tomlin looked like he was on the hot seat the whole game. He looked nervous. The outside pitch has worked maybe 10% of the time, yet Steelers call that play more than any other. Open the second half, first play call pitch outside, no gain. Massive momentum shift with Cameron Hayward fumble recovery. Next play pitch outside, no gain. How don't they see? I agree. We had turnovers. We were creating turnovers. Even on that punt, I think we ended up getting a score off of that. But it's just like the defense tries so hard, man. And then, like, we put them right back. I think there was a sequence where the defense got off the field. We went 3 and out. We punted the ball. They fumbled it. We got the ball back. No, I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. But essentially, we had the ball 3 times and just gave the ball right back, and the defense had to come back on the field 3 times in a row with no rest. It's just total incompetency. Okay, this is the last one. My entirely estimated stats for halfback tosses for the Steelers offense: 115 halfback tosses played called, 170 total yards gained, 1.4, 150 yards of those gained on 8 halfback tosses. 107 halfback tosses called for no or negative yards gained. I did zero research for this. This is how it feels. I hate halfback tosses. I do too, because like it. The thing is, like the defensive players are so skilled now. If they see you pitch the ball 3 yards backwards, these motherfuckers run 4.5s. They can make him get to the line before you do. They have a running start to meet you at the line of scrimmage, or potentially before you even get to the line of scrimmage. And then we fumble away a game on a halfback toss a few games back. Najee dropped the toss, and was that against Baltimore? I forget who that was against. I just know we lost that game. All right, so let's just look at the box score real quickly, and we're gonna go ahead and get out of here because the game was yesterday, and I'm still angry about it. So Joe Burrow, 37 for 46 for 277 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Russ was 17 for 31, so he had less attempts. He had less attempts than Joe Burrow had completions. He had 148 yards and a touchdown. I think he was sacked 4 times. Their running back that I'm not familiar with had 20 carries for 69 yards because their number one running back was out. Najee Harris had 12 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown. Jamar Chase, 10 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown, which is actually a down game for Jamar Chase. Pat Freiermuth had 8 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown. It's unfortunate he dropped that last pass because Freiermuth was really cooking out there. Him and Russ do have somewhat of a connection there. But everybody's just going to remember that last play. So let's see if we can we look at this full play-by-play? So, yeah, start the game. They went right down the field, scored. Then we had a 3-play -6-yard drive, and we punted. They come back and respond with an 11-play, 37-yard drive and kick a field goal. Okay, so we follow that up with a 13-play, 73-yard touchdown. That's pretty good. So then this is where our defense starts to lock in here. 6 plays, 19 yards, they punt. Or they turn it over on downs. That's another thing. Cincinnati came out and was trying to put us away. They were trying to put us away early. And I feel like these last few games, we have opportunities to go for it on fourth, like in crucial points of the game, to try to put the other teams away or try to at least keep ourselves in the game. And we didn't do it. We just consistently kept punting the ball away. I hate to just keep harping on Mike Tomlin, but for somebody who talks about not living in their fears, I feel like we have really been living in our fears this whole losing streak. Like, for most of the season, really, we were just being rewarded with wins. So, anyway, we followed that with a 3-play, 7-yard punt, 7-yard drive, we punt. They have 3 plays, 3 yards, they punt. Then they get an interception off of us, right? Is that us? No, that's them. So wait, we punt, they punt, and then an interception? Hold on. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, okay, so we forced the 3 and out and made them punt. And then Calvin Austin fumbled the punt. So after he fumbled, they had 4 plays, started off with a false start. This is where I felt like they were about to score. And we ended up getting the interception. Beanie Bishop gets the reflection. The ball bounced off of Patrick Queen's helmet. That's what I'm trying to say. We followed up with a 6-play, 20-yard drive where we turn it over on downs. Jalen Warren, left guard, to Pitt, 38 for 1 yards. Originally, they called it a first down. They reviewed it, and they said we didn't get it and gave Cincinnati the ball. Cincinnati follows that up with a 7-play, 28-yard drive in 32 seconds, kick a field goal. And then we had 1 play where Russ gets sacked. I remember that. And that's how our half ended. Trey Hendrickson had 3.5 sacks on the game. 3.5. 3 plays, 2 yards. Punt. 11 plays, 47 yards. They kick a field goal. They're up 16-7. We go 5 plays, 14 yards. Punt. They get another field goal. Then we end up getting a 9-play, 65-yard drive. This is where we threw the ball to Freiermuth. And he got in the end zone. And it got you thinking, hey, it's not a whole lot of time left, but maybe we're back in it. After that, we forced them to punt, right? 5 plays, 18 yards, 2 minutes. Yeah, because, there's 8 minutes left in the game here when they kick that field goal. It looks like it's over. We scored in less than 3 minutes. So there's still 5 minutes on the clock, or a little less than 5 minutes on the clock. Then we forced them to punt, and they only use up 2 minutes. So there's still 3 minutes left on the clock for us to score. We go 3 plays, 9 yards, and punt. There wasn't enough time left in the game. There just wasn't enough time left in the game to be punting. So we punt. They fumbled it. This is where it hits the dude's foot. They fumble it. We get the ball back. 6 plays, 2 yards. 6 plays, 2 yards. First down, incomplete pass. Second play, let's see. Russell Wilson pass short right. Pat Freiermuth pushed out of bounds at Cincinnati 28 for 10 yards. So we got a first down. Patterson right in. Okay, this is where we gave the ball to Patterson. 1 yard. Sack. Lost 6 yards. So it went from 2nd and 9 to 3rd and 15. Incomplete left to Mike Williams. Penalty on Patterson. Holding. Now it's 3rd and 25. Short pass for 7 yards. Now it's 4th and 18. And Chris Boswell makes a 54-yard field goal. Then the defense gets another stop in 48 seconds. 3 plays, minus 4 yards. We turn the ball over on downs on that incomplete pass to Pat Freiermuth. So this really tells a picture of how much the defense really locked in the entire second half. Look at this. 11 plays, they only got a field goal. 15 plays, held them to a field goal. Got turnovers on special teams, got turnovers on defense. Forced them to a punt right here in 5 plays, 18 yards. 3 plays, minus 4 yards. Punt. Look at what our defense pitched in the second half. We did score 1 touchdown on offense, but we only had 7 points when we scored that touchdown. That gave us 14 points. Punt, 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 field goal, turnover on downs. The time of possession, we got killed 38 minutes to 22. They had 314 yards of total offense to our 193. We won the turnover battle. We forced 2 turnovers. They only got the 1 on that punt. Well, technically 3 if you count the turnover, turnover on downs. We had 3 turnovers. They also had 21 first downs compared to our 16. And yeah, man, it's just tough. Najee Harris, 12 carries for 36 yards. Jaylen Warren, 6 carries for 21 yards. So Jaylen Warren actually only got 6 touches, not 7. Cordell Patterson, 1 carry for 1 yard. Freiermuth, leading receiver. Mike Williams had 1 catch for 25 yards. Najee had 4 for 20. Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, I don't think he even got a target. He had 1 target. George Pickens had 6 targets, but only had 1 catch and 0 yards. Jaylen Warren, he did have a target, but no catches. I think the ball was low and he wasn't able to catch it. It's really tough. You look over here, Jamar 10 for 96, Mike Gesicki 8 for 68, T Higgins 4 for 53. Let's see, can we look at team stats real quick? Passing first downs 15 to 8. Rushing first downs 5 to 6. First down penalties, 3rd down efficiency, 4th down efficiency. Total plays, total yards, same amount of drives somehow. Yards per play, passing numbers, sack numbers, rushing numbers. That's just tough, man. It's bad. It's really bad. All right, it's been over a half hour. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But Steelers Nation, man. I know I kept saying don't panic. We're fine. We can bounce back. Yada yada. I just think we're mid. We might have overachieved. Actually, it's hard for me to say we overachieved with how we looked, but I just feel like we just make things hard on ourselves. I feel like it's our own fault that we're in these positions that we're in because of the moves that we make. We just enjoy making things tougher on ourselves and trying to win football games a certain way when it's very obvious there are other things that can make life a lot easier and make it a lot easier to engineer victory. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. GG Steelers Nation. I appreciate anybody who's watched this. Let me know your thoughts down below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. See you in Baltimore. GG's.